All right, I know you're only signing the odd ones, but I wanted to do this one anyway. Is the triangle right triangle? Let's just test them all and find out. The way that you test them is you want to see if they are equal. So essentially what you're doing is you're saying 19 squared plus 20 squared needs to equal 28 squared in order for them to be equal. Now, you're allowed to use calculators, so you can do 19 squared, 361, plus 20 squared is 400, equals 28 squared, which is 784. You can already look at those numbers and you can see that they're not going to be equal. So we've got 761 and 784, and we say, nope, not equal. Okay, and it asks you to explain. So do you have to write it out and explain? Yeah, that's what they're telling you to do. You could say, not a right triangle because a squared plus b squared does not equal c squared. Fair enough? Because that's a requirement. Okay? And I'm just going to select that. Select all and copy it just in case I need to write that again. Try this one now. Sorry. Let's see. 8 squared plus 24 squared. Does that equal 25 squared? Let's test it. 64 plus 576. Does that equal 625? And if we add these together, we get 64 plus 576. 64 plus 576 equals 640. And 640 does not equal 625. Nope. And how do we write that? We say right triangle because a squared plus b squared does not equal c squared. In fact, we know that the 724/25, if I was to change that 8 over here to a 7, then it would be one of the Pythagorean triples. So if this is perfectly equal, we can't extend one of the sides and expect it to still be equal, right? So it just doesn't fit based on what we know about the Pythagorean triples. Okay, let's do this last one. Let's try it one more time. And again, I know that you weren't required to do all of these, but I'm going to show them to you anyway because why not? Okay, so 33 squared plus 56 squared, does that equal 65 squared? Okay, so we do 33 squared, we get 1089. Let me, just one second. Okay, and 56 squared, nope, that can't be right. 56 squared, 3136. Does that equal 65 squared, which is 4,225? Well, let's find out. Let's add 1,089 plus 3,136, and it equals 4,225. They are equal. And then we can say, pasting this in, we can change that to yes. Yes, it's a right triangle because a squared plus b squared does equal c squared or equals c squared. Yeah? And anybody can tell us what we found here? Well, I don't know if we found it, but what we've got here is a Pythagorean triple. Do you have to memorize this one? Not necessarily. You're not really required to memorize any of them, although it might be to your advantage to do it. But you can see that 33, 56, and 65 make a Pythagorean triple. And if you're curious, you can go online and just type list of Pythagorean triples, and you can see all of them. Some lists will show you multiples of the simplified ones, like that you might see 6, 8, 10, which is just a scaled up version of the 3, 4, 5. So if you're really looking for the interesting ones, you might try and find a list that doesn't repeat those as they scale up, because otherwise you're just going to get this massive list for forever. So anyway, there you go.